Would you eat meat if an animal didn't have to die for it? Let's talk about lab-grown meat. It's all in the media. It's all becoming bigger and bigger as we know it. And it's pretty much discussed heavily, especially in the vegan community. Now, most of you that know me, you know I'm a whole food plant-based advocate. I teach whole food plant-based living. I follow the Blue Zones lifestyle, and for me, not eating meat, fish and dairy is mainly to do with my health and wellness, right? So you may well ask me, Sharon, would you eat lab-grown meat? But this might surprise you, because I would expect a small portion of vegans might say yes. Well, if you're not killing an animal for it, then why wouldn't we eat it? Vegans are vegan for the animals, for the environment, for the climate, and that sort of thing. So you might get some vegans. I can imagine not very many, mind you. But for somebody like me who is vegan or whole food plant-based for predominantly my own health and wellness, and then the animals and the environment comes as a bonus. But first and foremost, I don't eat meat, fish, dairy and eggs purely for my own health and well-being. So for that reason, and that reason mainly, is the reason why I would still not eat lab-grown meat. It still has the DNA of meat. And so that means it's still got the saturated fats, it's still got the cholesterol, it has zero fiber. You can't lab grow fiber into meat. I mean, it's crazy. So no, I personally wouldn't eat lab grown meat, just as I wouldn't eat an organic cuddled cow meat either. They both have the same DNA, the same makeup, and it's what's causing heart disease in human beings and the main killer for heart disease. And everyone who knows me well knows that's my thing. So from my point of view, lab grown meat is actually going to cause major issues in the health and well-being of human beings. Already, human beings are dying of heart disease. That's the number one killer in human beings, is heart disease. We are gorging too much on meat, fish, dairy and eggs, way too much animal protein than our actual bodies can cope with. And people are dying with blocked arteries, heart attacks left, right and centre. Most people will die of a heart attack because that's the number one killer in human beings. And what happens as soon as most people have a heart attack and survive? Their heart surgeon will say to them, just cut back on the meat or stop eating the meat, right? I mean, come on, it just shows you that's what's causing the heart attacks. So it is proven by science, it is proven by lots of case studies, and it's proven by my work that people who choose not to gorge on meat, fish, dairy and eggs as their main nutritional survival food have clearer arteries and are less likely to die of a heart attack. It's proven, it's science. Look it up, check it out, check out the Blue Zones. They're my only mentors, people that live in the Blue Zones. People that live to be 100, disease-free, pain-free, medication-free. They eat 80% whole food plant-based, 20% whatever else they want, okay? Whether that's junk food vegan, 20%, or whether that's a little bit of meat, fish and dairy, a little bit once in a while. That's not going to kill you, okay? So from my point of view, and my own ethics and my belief system is, please don't eat lab grown meat. What's going to happen, I can visualize it now, what's going to happen is the lab grown meat industry is going to explode. They're going to have huge factories of it all over the world, and what's going to happen? Humans will now have more access to even more meat, and probably even cheaper than ever before. And so humans are going to eat gorge on meat more than ever before. And so what's going to happen? Very quickly, heart disease is going to rise even higher. Lifestyle related diseases are going to get even more so in human beings. And it's just going to cause a huge pandemic of lifestyle related diseases. At the same time, pharmaceutical companies will get richer and richer because humans are going to be wanting to be propped up on medication even more, because now have they not only got all of the animal agriculture that's in those fields grazing naturally, but now we've got crap loads more meat that are being grown in laboratories that's much more easily accessible. Now, this is my worry, is that people are just going to get sicker and sicker the more this lab grown meat comes into mainstream shops. So very quickly, let's just talk about maybe some benefits of this lab-grown meat. The whole purpose of lab-grown meat and the ethos behind the people that are doing this is to save animal agriculture, to save our planet. Now, to keep up with human demand for meat, fish, dairy and eggs, fish is different because it's in the sea, but land-grown animal agriculture, more and more of the rainforests are being cut down so that we can have enough room, enough land to graze the cows and the pigs and what have you. There's just not enough land mass to grow the amount of cows that's needed to keep up with the human consumption and demand of meat. It's not just the land for the animals grazing, it's actually the land for their food. So all the soy that needs growing to feed the cows, that takes up a lot of land, and so a lot of the rainforests are being cut down just purely to grow the food for the cows as well as the cows, because we just can't keep up with human demand. And so the point is they're saying the planet Earth isn't keeping up with human demand of eating meat. Now that's their main reason. So by putting it in a lab, we're cutting back on animal agriculture and you still get to have your meat. Well, that's going to take generations and generations to come to fruition and to actually happen. Because what I can see happening, first of all, is this lab-grown meat's going to go wild. But at the same time, so is the traditional animal agriculture meat is still, it's going to take decades for farmers to stop grazing cows for steak. Not only that, you're going to get a huge proportion of humans that will refuse to eat lab-grown meat. They'll think it's disgusting. They'll think it's just ick and it's just weird, like genetically. From my point of view, and this isn't grammatically and like truly correct, but I look at it like this. It's a GMO on steroids, a genetically modified product on steroids, because it's nothing natural about it whatsoever. It is absolutely the most disgusting thing I've ever heard, but for many reasons, not just because it sounds terrible, but the whole logic behind it, it just doesn't add up. And it'll be interesting to see how many vegans would actually eat lab-grown meat, knowing that a cow hasn't been killed for that burger. I find it hard to believe that a vegan would. There might be, inbox me, contact me, let me know if you're a vegan and you would eat lab-grown meat. Let's have a conversation. I'd love to hear it. But first of all, did you know, you might not know, especially vegans might not know, but traditionally, lab-grown meat, they had to use bovine serum to start the process off in their Petri dishes. And the way to get bovine serum is from an unborn calf. So it was from the slaughtered pregnant cows that they would get the serum from. So actually you're still killing cows. It might not be at a rate that we're killing cows now, but they were still having to kill cows to get the serum from the unborn calf. It's just awful. That's if you're a vegan for the animals, right? There's some companies now that have moved away from that and they're using other methods, like they're doing incisions or a little operation on a live cow that's still alive to get the cells out of them. But you're still messing with that animal and putting that in a petri just to grow that in a lab. It's all wacko pants stuff to me. But the point is, it's going to hopefully in about 100 years time cut back on animal agriculture and save our planet and save our rainforest, but the likelihood of that happening anytime soon I can't see happening, because I can't see many human beings consenting to eating this lab-grown meat. But from my point of view, it's very scary, because the more easily accessible meat is to humans and the cheaper it becomes, the worse our health and well-being is going to become as a species. And I can see it being the end of human beings as life. It sounds so dramatic, but just imagine, lab-grown meat is going to go wild. More and more people are eating meat, gorging on meat. And so, more humans are going to be dying early of just heart disease and all of these horrible lifestyle-related diseases. So it goes on and on and on as to reasons why I don't believe lab-grown meat should even be a thing. It should be absolute. It's just crazy. But I also see why they've tried to introduce this, or trying to introduce this mainstream, because it is getting crazy out of control animal agriculture. The best thing you guys can do if you want to save the planet, okay, just stop eating so much meat, fish, dairy, and eggs. We are not sustaining it as a planet. It just there's not enough room for us to have so much meat growing. And it's just not good for your health. I mean, come on. Let's get back to being human beings, for goodness sake. We've forgotten how to be a human being. You know, we don't have a meat problem. We have a human consumption problem. People just have forgotten how to eat like a human being should eat, and to keep you alive, to be 100 disease-free, pain-free, and medication-free. You know, we don't need to be spending billions and investing billions and billions of dollars in this new lab-grown meat industry. We need to spend billions and billions of dollars of converting people and reminding humans and what it takes to live like a human being. We don't need to be cutting down all of the rainforests and, you know, destroying the planet. We just need to cut back on eating meat, fish, dairy, and eggs, and then it's a win-win for everyone. We cut back on medication. The healthcare system would have less pressure. You know, it has a snowball effect, but it's just so basic. It's basic knowledge that all we need to do is just cut back. And those of you that want to completely stop and go completely plant-based, then all the more better for you. But my mantra is we should all be centenarians in training, and we're not going to get that way on lab-grown meat or cuddled cow meat. It still has the same makeup. It still has the same DNA. It still has the same saturated fats that's clogging our arteries, and we don't need any more meat. Okay. That's my take on it. I'd love to hear your opinions on the matter. Are you a big time carnivore that still wouldn't eat lab grown meat, or are you a vegan that might consider eating lab grown meat? It's such a debate. It's a real big debate. I truly believe there's more people that wouldn't eat lab-grown meat than would. Whether you're omnivore, carnivore, or blooming herbivore, whatever you are, I honestly believe that most human beings would say no to lab-grown meat. But I'd love to hear your comments. That's my thoughts on the subject matter. I don't know if you were surprised by that, but look, stick to the kale, my friends.